Michigan?
Yeah. Because I spent a semester at Wabash College, an all-male college in Indiana, and I hated it, so I got the hell out of there. So it was terrible. And I got Hampton, Sydney. I'm thinking of maybe.
Okay, yeah, that rings a bell for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it says as of December 2008, there were 3 non-religious institutions in the United States, mostly Hampton, Sydney, Morehouse College, which is a black college, and then Wabash College, where I got like a full scholarship to go and went for a semester, and said, "There's no chicks here. Get me out of here." So I don't know. But,
speaking of chicks, how have things been going in your life?
Well, I mean, NASCAR girl still texts me. That's my last girlfriend, and I haven't really seen her since RD knows when. So. Yeah, so it's weird when you're my age and you're with somebody who you don't want to be with, and they really want to be with you, and you try to like express that to them. It's but they're still very willing to meet up with you whenever you want. And you, if you're not a psychopath or a sociopath or whatever, then it kind of rubs you the wrong way morally. In other ways, it's like, God, stop seeing me. I don't really want, and I only see when I'm really drunk. It's late at night and I'm horny. Do you understand that? It's like a healthy relationship either way. So,
booty call.
Yeah, but we're two. I mean, I'm 43. She's 42. Not really the age you should be doing that shit. So.
Yeah.
So
how
did you meet your current girlfriend?
Actually, we went to high school together, and it's funny because I met her at a party, and I actually gave her a kiss, but I felt like I was robbing the cradle because she was in like 10th grade and I was 12th. So
no.
I didn't pursue it, And then I come back 20 years later and meet back up with her, and the next thing you know, we've been together 4 years planning on marriage. So that's where we are.
Did Facebook facilitate that?
Yes, it did, actually. That's how she contacted me.
So yeah, she remembered handsome, tall Kevin from way back when.
Yep.
And we'll circle back there. So was this fictional character your first and only betrothed or married?
Yes, technically yes. But remember, she is fictitious. So yes, I was married to her in the fictional story. But
that's the only legal formal marriage you've had or whatever.
Yes, it is. It's the only time I've ever been married.
Okay.
And so there's no reason for that. I mean, I could have gotten married again. I've always been very patient since then to get to know somebody over the course of not months but years. Yeah. And I think I learned my lesson. I learned my lesson the hard way.
So you're prepared to do it again and do it the right way this time, it sounds like.
Yes, absolutely. I know my girlfriend now on all the levels you can really know someone. I've seen her on her bad days or good days. I'm ready to make the proposal, but I can't tell you when or how I'm going to do that.
Yeah,
because that would give us away.
I would suggest that if you really want to test her, get her drunk, get her a little, smoke a little bit. Then you take her to a tattoo parlor and suggest you get your initials tattooed on the tramp stamp thing in Gothic font. So that when she wakes up the next day, it'll be,
that would be the ultimate test, man. You got any Apocalypse, do you happen to have any tattoos? Let's talk about tattoos real quick.
I do not have any tattoos nor piercings. One of the few in my age group.
Yeah, it is an exception to your age group. I have 2 things tattooed on me. One's the American flag, and the other one's my daughter's face. And I thought about those for 10 years before I got them. So.
At what age? Did you do her face as? Obviously you could do her face as a child, as aged forward, or are you going to age the tattoo or?
Well, my initial plan, the tattoo was when she was 2 years old, and the pictures came from that. And I had the tattoo artist look at 4 different pictures and make a composite. But I wanted to do.
That sounds really interesting, actually.
Yeah, I'll put it up there. But it's the thing about it is I was going to get one of her every 5 years as she grew, all the way across my back, and then one of her first baby, and then I was going to stop, no more ink. But I said that's not really me. I've got 2 tattoos, one on each shoulder, my daughter and my country. Things that I'll die loving, and that's just all I need. So I'm not big into ink anymore. I used to think it was really cool, and now I'm like, nobody sees my tattoos anyway, except my girlfriend. And so it's not important to me. So how much ink you got out there, Barco?
Oh no, I have scars. I mean, and I have good stories to go with the scars. So, but no, I don't think anyone in my. I have, as you know, 7 brothers and 6 still living, and I think
Holy cow.
only my youngest sister might have a small tattoo, but none of it. No, I have no tattoos or piercings or anything like that. So.
Now, is that from a religious thing, or it's just your personal choice not to mark up your body?
Well, we were raised very Catholic. Perhaps that was it. But at the same time, we're also very, very kind of, kind of stupid to get tattoos. We think. I don't know, but unless it's something very significant to you. Like, if you're in the military, if you're in prison, or if you have a child. I think I've seen a lot of girls around Chicago. They get tattoos of their pets, like their pets' paw prints on their tits or something. Like one on. It's kind of sexy, but at the same time, it's like. Well, it's your fucking cat you had for 7. I understand, but I don't know. So
that is strange. I didn't know they were doing that. Wow.
Yeah. It's like get a girl. It's like, hey, what are these? It's like, oh, that was my kitty. That was Fluffy from when I was a child. Okay. Nice. Okay. Real stable.
So we're talking about ex-psychos and tattoos right now. The next reasonable thing for us to go into is either prostitutes or UFOs. So which way should we go here? I personally have no experience with prostitutes, but I thought it would be a fun topic. But I thought
I have some limited experience with them. I can tell my limited experience because it's not really that great, but. If you want to, but Apocalypse, I think, is what you call a whoremonger. Is that, or no? Wait, no. It's called a hobbyist, right? Apocalypse.
Yes, I'm a hobbyist. Yes.
Hobbyist. Yes, that's the terminology in this. So go ahead, Apocalypse. Backpage.com is your homepage when you log into your browser.
Yeah, because I guess Craigslist, they decided, we got too many complaints, so they got rid of all their little prostitute things going on. And they had to use code words for that, so then they just switched to Backpage, which is like a more freedom of speech version of Craigslist. Craigslist, they're serial report spammers. So if there's anything objectionable in anything on Craigslist, it can easily be removed. I think it's like 3 votes, and it'll probably get erased. So, yeah.
Wow.
Everyone's going to basically Craigslist or I'm sorry, whatever he said, and My Scarlet Book or something like that.
I don't know what that is. So.
I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah,
God, I'm so out of touch.
Escort.
I'm so out of touch. These are what the kids are doing these days. They're going to Backpage.com and Scarlett O'Hara or whatever. So... Is prostitution, RD in the chat room, prostitution is part of your culture there. People come there because prostitution is legal. What do you think America ought to do about that? Should we just go ahead and legalize it in every state? I don't even know if he's still in the chat room. I'm just going to make the assumption that he is. I love talking to my European brothers, man.
Kevin, have you ever seen the front line about Cuba? I don't know when it was. They did a front line went down to Cuba maybe 10 or so years ago. And they kind of like said, hey, this is what Cuban culture or Cuban society is like now. And Cuba apparently has one of the highest literacy rates on the planet. Not just bullshit, but really people read a lot of books there because there's no real broadcast or anything. Okay. They drag race on the highways because there's no traffic. And all the women are prostitutes in Cuba, which I was just like wow. Apparently because there's no other economy, but it's just become commonplace. And they're beautiful women. So I don't know. I mean, I could probably find a link to it somewhere, but yeah. So, I don't know.
Maybe that's part of the problem, is that in our country, these things we call taboo, I think they confine us.
Like literacy and drag racing and prostitution, right?
Well, I mean, maybe that would set us free if we legalize some of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're more likely to move back towards polygamy than anything else at this point, because we're moving towards a female-dominated electorate. The women have basically elected the last few presidents. Even back, without Barack Obama winning the female vote, so women, he would not probably have gotten elected. So, and I think women actually would prefer polygamy to serial polygamy, where they have to, but.
Yeah, I think you're right. Serial polygamy is a good way to describe marriage in America right now, too.
Yeah.
Do you think Hillary has a chance? Is she going to win the next election?
I hope not. I kind of hope Elizabeth Warren wins, and I think she might, because,
yeah.
I mean, being here in Chicago, I know some of the people that worked on, and actually worked with them at the last place, that worked on, and the Democrats have such an advantage in the use of big data, in the use of technology, to figure out where to apply your resources, figure out how to get the right message to the right person at the right time, basically.
Yeah.
I think they're a decade ahead of the Republicans. I don't think you'll see a Republican president again until, 16, 20, 20, probably 28 at the earliest. I don't think they have it. They're just... Mitt Romney should have won. If you gave Obama's team Mitt Romney as a candidate, they would have won by 1964 Lyndon Johnson numbers, which is the biggest landslide in U.S. history. Maybe Nixon was bigger, but I don't know. 60% plus would have. But they had to work with the crappy president who had 8% plus unemployment, unpopular wars. He reneged on his promises and all that, and they still won.
Yeah. So you're saying it's mostly a result of his political team that he surrounded himself with that got Obama back in the second time?
Yes, they're political, and they actually had the Eric Schmidt from Google sitting in their, their war room the night of the election. They had all this data, and they would not canvass areas or push people to vote in areas where they weren't going to win. They applied their resources to where they needed to apply them, and they won. And I think President Obama does not like Hillary Clinton, and I think he's going to throw his team. He's going to tell his team who to go work for, and I think it's going to be Elizabeth Warren. So, and I like her. So,
wow, yeah, I like her too. Actually, the Republicans, I think, have the infighting has cost them, and I think that's going to cost them for a while now. But I can't help but wonder if society is moving. Is society staying in the center, or are they moving right or left right now?
I would think if you polled all Americans, you'd probably find, you'd probably find they're more right-wing than left-wing, I would think, based upon my interaction with white America. But,
yeah, I would agree with that.
But then, do they go out and vote, or do they, actually participate? So, I don't know.
Yeah. What's it like out there in Arizona, Apocalypse, as far as the political atmosphere?
90% Republican, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very Republican state, so it's probably a little bit different from where you guys are at.
Yeah, you guys had Barry Goldwater back in the day, so.
Yeah, back in the day, but we've still had, we have a lot of scandals, especially with Sheriff Joe Arpaio,
Oh yeah.
I'm sure you guys hear about it in your guys' local papers, but
well, I hardly ever pay attention to local news. I always look at national and international, so I couldn't tell you what's going on in Virginia. And I think that comes from because I was skipping around from state to state, so I never paid attention to local news. But I hear his name all the time. So
you were skipping around state to state because you were a fugitive?
No, you would think that, but no.
I assume you have some sort of child support obligation, or no?
Yes, that is correct.
And so you're not paid. I mean, I don't know.
I'll tell you that I've paid an extensively large amount of money so far, and there's still money that I owe.
Yes, I imagine, yes.
Yeah. So I've paid more in child support than I think the average American dad would pay for 3 kids, for one kid.
Yeah, well, because it's based on a percentage of your income, like up to like 28%, not based on the reality of raising a child, which most women who get child support, they go and they get their nails done, they buy some clothes, they buy their boyfriend an Xbox or something.
Yeah, but see, that never bothered me. Like when I could pay my total legal obligation, which needs to be changed, and I just haven't done it. I never thought, well, she's probably blowing my money. I used to just think this is somehow, if I'm lucky, going to filter down to my daughter and her quality of life, and that's the idea. So, I was good with that. When I've got the cash, if I could send $500,000, I'd send it. But I'd probably take a chunk of that instead and get involved in some legal action, because that's what it takes. It takes a good sum of money to get moving. And to be honest with you, right now, I got shit, man. I got nothing. So I have to make a very hard decision on, do I want to start living on public assistance until I get my back fixed, or do I want to keep my pride level up and keep living poor? And right now, pride has won. I don't want the judgment of people saying, you're on SSD? Screw you. I got to work 40 and 50 hours a week. That's harsh in America, and I don't want to feel it, but I may not have a choice. I mean, I'm fucked up pretty bad. So, I mean, lately my legs have been going numb. I mean, we're talking wheelchair type stuff now, and maybe that's what I need. Maybe that's what I need to show people I wasn't fucking around.